Cassandra Casey, spunky, energetic, animated, brave. These are just a few of the words used to describe Cassandra Casey. She is a mom of 2 great kids and leads Girl Scout Troop 307 right here in Westminster. As a co-pastor of the Laurel Community of Christ, she runs many services and events. Mrs. Casey is a frequent guest on the mats at the Tri-Star Martial Arts Dojo. She is a member of the Glendon Area Players Theater Troupe, and Cassandra is known around Carroll Community College as the coordinator of lifelong learning and summer kids at Carroll plus teen college camps. She grew up in Raytown, Missouri, but is proud to call Carroll County her home. Please welcome Cassandra Casey as she enlightens us about I Wonder.
Normally it's my daughter that introduces me, and she usually calls me Mom. But she often gives many of the highlights that were just given by Vince. I wonder. When I named my presentation, I hoped it would make you wonder. Wonder is the story of Augie, a 5th grade boy with a facial deformity. This book and movie have allowed me to share my story because I was also born with a facial deformity, though not as severely medical as Augie's. No one but my grandmother noticed any difference about my face. When I was a few weeks old, she noticed a fullness on the left side. And if you're noticing it in these pictures, neither one of them is me. Staring. It really does happen just about every day. It was more noticeable when I was young. I think it's because either I noticed it more often or people expected children to look a certain way. Usually I'm polite enough not to notice, but when I can't help it, I dance. Now, this is the strategy I came up with when I was about 8 years old. People are going to stare at me. I might as well be entertaining. Now they're staring at my cool dance moves and not my face. The thing they remember is how silly and funny I am. My friend, Tiambe Page, does a great talk about branding. Listening to her made me realize that I have a personal brand. It's an easy way to identify myself in a group. If you've ever been in a meeting with me, you know what I mean. I clap, cheer, and say, woohoo, for just about everything. I make a choice to be excited about TPS reports or budget projections. I make a choice to change how people perceive me. I make a choice not to be bothered by staring, but to entertain people instead. In the movie, Augie talks about if Chewbacca came to his school, he would probably stare. I am not immune to staring at other people. When I catch myself, I try to think of a compliment to give that person. Not about something they own, because that isn't really a compliment about them. I try to make it a compliment about the action the person has taken. Sometimes I can create a sense of pride for that person. I like to try to give as many standing ovations as I can to let people know they are appreciated. Like instead of saying, I really like that jacket, I might say, you're rocking that jacket. I like the way you put your outfit together. Your style is fierce. Bullying. Less than you might think. I stood up to bullies with my words. Having 2 older siblings allowed me to call the bullies sophomoric and plebeian, which was hard to respond to on an elementary playground. I knew I could take the teasing, so I put myself between the bullies and their prey. I never had to deal with physical fights. But when I give kids advice, I say stay calm, make a joke if you can. In the story, Augie hides his face to avoid being looked at. He wears an astronaut's helmet and loves Halloween to be a normal kid. I was never really one for hiding. I love to pose for pictures. In fact, my mom says I used to sing when I opened the refrigerator door. Hey, it's a spotlight. I always prefer to be asked about my face, and I don't mind asking questions. But sometimes people make up their own answers and spread rumors, like I was in a car accident. Although the craziest one was abducted by aliens. I had fun with that one. After you ask, listen. Too many people hear me say birth defect, and then they say, yeah, but there was an accident too, right? In the words of Lady Gaga, I was born this way. I have a non-hereditary genetic mutation. Basically, my genes got together and said, let's be fabulous. I didn't get it from my parents, and I didn't pass it on to my children. I was lucky enough to have a great support system. I have family, friends, and a belief system that have offered me great support. I also stayed in the same school system for all 13 years, so kids got used to me, and my family was always there for me. You may not know what it's like to be me. As a kid, I felt lucky to get out of school for doctors. I hated having surgery. Amnesia makes me sick. But all in all, I can't imagine being anyone else.